NASA's Curiosity rover captures cigar-shaped UFO orbiting Mars. The Curiosity of NASA made these photos of a cigar-shaped UFO on Mars. Cigar-shaped UFO sighted filmed over Brazil 4th of January 2015. In Brazil there are very often cigar-shaped UFO sightings. It is virtually a hotbed for cigar-shaped UFO activity. As you can see, it is silvery, it's pretty much as in this picture. It has a silver metal shine, and it also shines in the sun. This is apparently a picture released by the Orion Conspiracy documentary. UFOs shaped like cigars spotted by the ISS. Live streams from the ISS picked up an image of what appears to be two cigar-shaped UFOs passing by. This is a picture of a live stream, and you can clearly see two cigar-shaped UFOs in the background. Huge cigar-shaped UFO glides over Ukraine city. That is the 17th of March 2014, and it was seen gliding past over Kherson in Ukraine. A video recently surfaced on the internet reportedly showing a large elongated UFO gliding over Kherson, Ukraine. Now these are the schematics of another spacecraft. It's called the Andromeda Gerät, or the Andromeda device, or Andromeda spacecraft. As you can see here, it is practically a carrier craft, designed practically to carry a Haunebut 2 Gerät in its internal place. It's depicted as H2 Gerät, Haunebut 2. Here are the so-called energy towers, or KSK Drehtürme, 3 times 7 centimeters KSK turrets built within the spacecraft, meaning armed carrier and long-distance spaceship Andromeda device. The length is 139 meters, the diameter or the Durchmesser 30 meters. The propulsion systems is again 4 times Thule tachionatoren and 4 times Schumann levitators. The steering controls or Steuerung, magnetic Feldimpulsors, Geschwindigkeit or speed or velocity, keine Angaben or not specified, or rechnerisch, meaning again arithmetically, theoretically to 300,000 kilometers per second possible. The Imperial German Andromeda device, or space carrier, was designed practically as a carrier spacecraft for long-distance travel. As you can see that from the UFO reports, even the Curiosity, that a rover on Mars made pictures of cigar-shaped UFOs passing by, and even on the ISS live stream, cigar-shaped UFOs were seen. Brazil, South America is a hotbed for cigar-shaped UFO activity. Back in 2010, there was even a blackout that happened after cigar-shaped UFOs were spotted. Apparently, it is comparable to the motorstop mittel, that they created a magnetic field that blacked out entire neighborhoods or entire parts of the city. These cigar-shaped UFOs are spotted all around the world, and they have possibilities practically of traveling underwater. So the Imperial German, I call them identified flying objects, because these are practically RD Andromeda device spacecraft. Of course, they're longer. The length of these devices are from the first designs, as we could view in the video, was 139 meters in length and 30 meters in diameter, which is comparable to a boat. You must understand that back then they built these anti-gravitic graviton Thule tachyonators and Schumann levitators. The Schumann levitators and Thule tachyonatoren were practically the propulsion systems that made an anti-gravitic field around it. They used practically the technology of Nikola Tesla and the Real Society to develop these anti-gravitic spacecraft. These spacecraft are seen all around the world. Yeah, even in hotspots of wars, these spacecraft are seen, and apparently they work on the atmosphere or are doing something that they're doing apparently something. They're not just sitting there and just looking at everything. They're actually looking at what is happening on this world And according to very rightist researchers and esoteric researchers in Germany, who have viewed this truth on the Imperial Germans and the cigar-shaped UFOs and the Haunenbusse and so on, are actually theorizing. Their theory is that the Imperial Germans are practically planning this world for Judgment Day. That they are the so-called the lights that will be seen at the end of times, and in the sky, these disc or cigar-shaped lights in the sky, and that these Imperial Germans are practically know the truth and are in divine guidance by the spiritual forces, by the spiritual light forces, God and his angels, and that they're doing practically everything that is possible to prevent a greater catastrophe, as they have proven in the past. The Malmstrom Incident, where UFOs, not normal UFOs, well, bell-shaped UFOs were seen, they paralyzed the ICBM launching facility at Malmstrom Base in 1967, and they even paralyzed the ICBM launching facilities in America the last time in 2010. So these Imperial Germans are practically there guarding over us. I believe they intervened multiple times in the past, even in so-called active volcanoes globally. There are also UFOs seen there. Apparently they're trying to soothe the Earth mantle. They're working on the atmosphere. They're practically working and making this world ready for the so-called transdimensional jump. What the New Age movement says, it's the genetic transmutation of the humans and the planet into the next dimension, in the higher frequency-based dimension. They're preparing actually this world for the dimensional shift in the near future and preventing the Zog elites of instigating a nuclear war. That is what they can do. The motorstop mittel was invented by the Germans in the 1930s and 1940s. It was an electromagnetic field inducer that stopped all electronic activity in a certain radius. So the blackouts in Brazil, where apparently then UFOs were seen, cigar-shaped UFOs, could be explained because the hydroelectric plant fell out there. Apparently it just shut down. Sometimes they do this. Either it's an exercise or they had to run for cover, I don't know. We can only hypothesize on what they actually are doing. But nevertheless, the cigar-shaped UFOs are seen everywhere. For me, they're the most identifiable Imperial German spacecraft, because everybody sees a cigar-shaped. A cigar-shaped is it's like a cigar, you see it. And in many of these videos that you find on YouTube, they all shine in metal. Sometimes they even make a clearly focused out. They all shine in a metal color, pretty much as in the pictures released by the Orion Conspiracy documentary. So the Imperial Germans are working, and I believe that they're in contact with benevolent ET life forms like the Aldebaranic Aryans or the Aryans from the Pleiades. I believe they're in contact also with the Federation of Light. And of course, if you take the reptilian factor in it and the gray factor in it from the American who are in contact with negative entities, that there was also something going on up there. Curiosity made pictures of the Imperial Germans in Mars. So they are on Mars, they are on the moon. They have bases on Mars, they have bases on the moon. Bases primarily underwater as well, the so-called unidentified submerged vehicles. Many navies in the world always chase ghost submarines and blame the Soviet Union or Russia or America or Sweden to it. The secret war against Sweden, just Google that. So these unidentified submerged vehicles, they have also underwater bases. The Hollow Earth theory, that they have a base and a colony in the Earth in New Swabia, with its capital city, New Berlin. Apparently 1.5 million people live there. So we have this huge grander concept. It is the spiritual conspiracy, the historical conspiracy, the financial conspiracy, the political conspiracy, the medicinal conspiracy, the Zionist Jewish conspiracy. It's so much that it's you have to have an open mind to it. And I actually show a lot in my videos, but of course I have also I learn as I go along. I expand my awareness as I go along. And I wanted to make a video about cigar-shaped UFOs that I believe are identified Imperial German Andromeda devices, so identified Imperial German spacecraft, and that these cigar-shaped UFOs show that there's a lot of activity going around in the world. Actually, we should map all of these cigar-shaped UFO sightings and see where they are the most active. Anyhow, cheers!